It should work now. Thanks, Wolf. Welcome back to Games Revealed. I'm James and also the Brink, and we are one community. Today, we are going to be chatting with the great revealed people here, the revealers. Maybe we should rename everyone that's in the community to streakers. I don't know, but thanks for letting me know, Wolf. But we'll start, like, you can fast forward 5-10 minutes and that's when we'll officially start. But I usually like to give a little bit of a buffer for people to come on in, and then we get into all the fun topics. I'm getting really tired of these Linus Gamer Nexus drama. Even though I don't follow it much, it's an indicative disease that happens amongst creators, and I just want to like talk about that at one point. So yeah, how you doing, Wolf? BT Maverick, are you there? Oh, there we go. How you doing, BT Maverick? Honey saves you money. It does save you money. Here's the thing. Honey saved the people that used it money. Maybe it didn't give them the best thing every time, but it saved them money. It did not say the content creators got screwed in the end on that one. I mean, Markiplier did a pretty good job of like sussing that one out. I always kind of wondered too. To be fair though, if they would have came to me, there's probably a chance I would have. I mean, I used Honey. I would have probably told people about it and used an affiliate code because I used it. I knew it worked. I didn't know well, honestly, if it did try to use just its own code, I'd usually make sure. So I don't know if I ever had any issues with Honey, but yeah, it definitely screwed some people. Chad, Cat, and Baby, welcome. How you doing, man? Cascoder, it never works on Amazon because Amazon almost never uses coupons. Yeah, no. Honey doesn't work on there, but I believe it does price comparisons, or was that another extension I'm using? I thought I did something with price comparisons. Yeah. Oh, it still failed. Damn it. Sorry, guys. I am working on the new website. You know me, go back and forth between everything and never decide on anything. But we'll get into that at the end of the episode today on what I'm doing and why I don't have CES content beyond my last stream out, because I am not lazy. I am just behind. I am actually still going to do a CSS, not cascading style sheets, which is programming or front end styling, but I am going to be doing a CES video still, at least one. I might do a couple. I don't know how well they'll do, but they definitely will have my takes on it, and I've been writing docs on it. I just haven't recorded yet. Andre, welcome. Fed 40. I don't know why I got Fed head, but Fed 431. Welcome. BT Maverick. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss anything that anyone was saying. I love how Cascader just comes on in like the frickin' Kool-Aid man, just busts in. Honey saves you money. Being a sarcastic, of course. PT Maverick, I finished my first New Year's resolution. Lol, I just finished Death Stranding, and after 50 hours and 2-hour-long cutscene, I definitely walked 1,000 miles. Damn. Now, okay. If someone wants to do something kind of cool with that franchise, with that game, they should they should tie up the inputs to like some shoes, because they have some Bluetooth shoes that you can go running in and does all the detecting and everything. They should get some of those shoes, hook it up to the input for that, and they walk everywhere to walk in that game and see if you can beat the game by walking and actually get some physical exercise. That would be a fun challenge. I'd love to see that. I don't want to see the whole live stream, but I want to see it cut down. BT Maverick, yeah. Oh yeah, like those VR slide disc things. Kind of, but there's actual shoes that people have that have trackers in it for like running and stuff like that. All you need to do is have a tracker that just indicates that you're moving. You could probably tie it also to your watch or your phone because that also counts steps, and just have it the step counter. Make it so that's how you walk, and then you have to use the controller to move around. I think it would be a fun challenge to see someone do. It's not one I would do, but it would be a fun one to see someone do. Let's see here. Raichi, in 2017, you could play 1080p medium settings at 60 frames for a $100 card. 2025, you need a $300 card to do 1080 low settings for maybe 60 frames per second. I don't know if that's fair, Raichi. I think you're looking at things through the lens, through a lens that's a little dirty. Not saying I'm not saying you're dirty, Raichi. I'm just saying I think you're looking at damn. I think you're looking at it with doom colored glasses or something like that. There were games like frick, what is the name of that game? Man, there were games back then that were very trying and didn't play as well, and I'd have to look them up. But it's definitely gotten worse right now. But I think it's more complicated than that. A lot of games will play fine on a $500 gaming device. That's the PlayStation 5 and a lot of these other devices. Most games that come out that are like pretty like graphically intense will play on those devices. So you don't necessarily need to have like a very intensive device to play, but it still costs more. But that's inflation, baby. Not saying actually $100 to $300. Some tech inflation right there is also what's going on, Raichi. You can't expect a card to be $100 for 30, 40 years with how inflation works, typically. It doesn't have to be tied to inflation, but with inflation, you can expect things to go up just a little bit, depending on industries and optimizations and stuff like that. Rishi, I don't know what I mean. we can get into, we're going to get into the dirty lie of Nvidia and the 5070. I have an article for it, so we're going to dive into it very soon. Let's see. BT Maverick and shake the baby jar thing to calm it down. The Steam Deck does have gyros. You could maybe gyro it. Like, that'd be kind of cool, actually. I'd be down for that. The Real Savage, welcome. How you doing, man? Cascader, you also need to carry a baby while walking. That would be awesome. You have to have a backpack on that has like one of those babies you get while you're... Is it in high school? I never did this, by the way. I could, but there was like, you had to tend like a fake baby while in high school, right? Like to like figure out how to, yeah. To, sorry, I was coughing. To figure out how to parent, right? Not to kill the baby. So yeah, let's dive into this. I'm going to get out of my development. We're going to dive into some... I don't know if we're going to... let's dive into the Nvidia thing first. No, not that one. Actually, that one does look interesting. And then we'll get into the Linus Tech Tips, kind of fun stuff of... I want to get what you guys... I want to know what you guys think of this, the Linus Tech Tip and Gamer Nexus thing, but... let's get into the first topic. And a couple of topics that I have today are GeForce, Linus versus Gamer Nexus, Microsoft killing off handhelds, or vice versa. Nvidia AI NPCs are a nightmare. I didn't actually read this article fully, so we're going to be having a fun time learning about it together. who's going to buy Ubisoft is, I think, just a theory and some other stuff. And of course, if you guys have anything you want to add to this list, let me know in Discord and I will throw it up. Sounds good. Sounds good. Let's see here. Yes. Yeah, throw it into Discord and I'll throw it up here. Yeah. And of course, at me. Focal Point. AKA Focal Point. Tamagotchi. Ooh, Tamagotchi's good. I like Tamagotchis. By the end of the year, a homeless person could buy Ubisoft. I doubt that. But it's very reminiscent of some other companies that got bought up and pieced together. Like they essentially, their IP sold. I can't remember. I have to remember how Sierra, the publisher for the original Half-Life, they got bought and then their IP was like split and everything. So I don't remember exactly how that dissolved, but that was a company that had a lot of successful games. Like Half-Life's super successful and they still went out of business. So we're just kind of hitting a second bump of publishers, I think, going out of business. And I think Ubisoft is well on its way of probably not. I mean, I don't know. These big companies, they don't almost ever go out of business, but I could see them getting bought by another company just because they're not doing as well. The Icarus, welcome. Okay, let's dive into this. So we kind of talked about this last week. I also talked about it on Off the Console, but I really want to dive into this and know what you guys think, chat. Nvidia's new RTX 5070 will deliver RTX 4090 performance at $549 when it launches in February. Now, that statement right there is a lie. Now, what Nvidia said in their presentation, or at least where because I don't know if they're promoting it fully like this, but what they said is that because of DLSS 4, a 5070 will perform similarly to a 4090, which is not a lie. It's a comparison with technology. It is not, like if you have a 4090, I would not recommend selling that and getting a 5070. Flat out. If you have a 4080, I would not recommend selling that to get the 5070. Just because your performance bump is not going to be the same. Now, if you're building a new computer or buying a new computer now, and you're fine with some, and it's not even that bad, it just depends, some artifacting occurring with the DLSS 4 magic, then you're going, then get the 5070. Like I said, I probably will get the 5070 Ti potentially when I build my next computer, instead of just getting the biggest machine or the biggest card, which I don't normally go that route, but this time around I might. This time around I won't. I probably won't. In the past I have, because that was the only option. Chad, is it bad I want the 5080 while the new Astral line looks dope? I mean, it's not bad. Here's the thing, Chad. If you like it, you can always, because you have I believe a 4090, right? Or a 4080. You might have a 4080. I can't remember. You have like one of those, like the 4000 series. You could probably sell that and upgrade and just only lose like a couple $100 maybe if you're lucky. The Real Savage. When I was in school, it was the bag of flour, the baby. The bag of flour. The bag of flour. How long ago? Okay. Well, was your school underfunded, or was this just a long time ago? I never know. Sorry. No problem, Chad. Enjoy your toddler. Raichi, Nvidia is not competing. Nvidia is creating a category where they are king. 20 series that made 20 series, they made ray scamming. 30 series, the Vaseline upscaling. 40 series, they made double frame, new fraud quad frames. They're not fraud. I'll say this right now, Raichi. I think people that are saying that it's I see a lot of it, and it's very bombastic. It's a lie. It's a fraud. It's whatever. It's not correct to say that. And I'm not usually one to be a correct police gatekeeper person. I just get upset when people get upset in a way that doesn't actually, that's not indicative of what's actually going on. Are those frames? And I'd have to check with the input to frames, well, all that, of course, like the keyboard, mouse, and the frames. It's not a lie. It's just, it's a different way to game, and not everyone is against it. I like RTX personally. I don't think it's a fraud. I like RTX. And so I don't know. But I've always had an RTX card that could handle things, like with the 3090 RTX. Nowadays, it doesn't do as well with certain RTX games, but I like RTX. I do think games requiring RTX is a little crazy. I think stuff requiring ray tracing is fine. It's getting to that point where it's fine as long as it is not overblown, because there's a lot of devices, even Mac devices can handle ray tracing now. Everything can pretty much handle it. The Steam Deck can handle it. It's just you got to be careful with your optimizations with ray tracing if you're going to require ray tracing. I think it's going to be eventually, it'll just be a standard to have ray tracing. It's just you're going to, I don't know. Like, meaning it's fine. I mean, Unreal is coming out with a new lighting system, so I'm just curious how that's going to work with ray tracing, though. The Real Savage, I'm thinking a 5070 Ti too. Might just get a 5080. Yeah, the 5080 wouldn't be a bad idea either. $1,000. I mean, it's not that much more, right? So maybe I'll get a 5080 also. I don't know. All I know is I don't need anything too extreme these days. I'm probably going to be putting my money points into some new system setups that I want to do, which is like, I want to, because now this year we're going to be getting Steam OS. We're going to be getting devices with more and more devices that support eGPUs. I want to try putting an eGPU into my living room where I play games on the consoles. Put one in here and try working and playing off like a Steam Deck like device. I'm hoping, but very doubtful, that SteamOS will support eGPUs. But I mean, people have gotten video cards to work with the Steam Deck. It's just I'm not very hopeful that the drivers are there for USB 4 to eGPU. So we'll see with that. So yeah, let's see what people are having to say. Real Savage, 44 years young. Nice. Yeah, I mean, even with that, like, I swear they would have, well, maybe they didn't back then. I don't know. But a bag of flour. Representing baby. Might as well. Chad, I don't necessarily want to sell my 4080 to get a 5080. I mean, that's what I'd recommend doing. There's no point in having both unless you're building a second computer. The Real Savage, yes, school was in the hood. Ratchet City, yeah, that would also account for it potentially too, which is unfortunate. Raichi, I'm not angry at Nvidia. I'm angry at developers who believes everyone has 5090 Super Ti SL setups. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have a hard time getting me mad at developers since I'm a developer, but I agree that the spec list needs to be set to a Steam Deck level. I'm all for trying to put start a standard for that, and maybe one day, maybe maybe this year, maybe next year, maybe we could all as a community, like as I grow the community more, because I do want to grow the community, maybe we could set some standards and try to see if we can get people to adhere to them. Because I think Steam Deck is a standard if we're on the computer, the baseline standard is that it should play bare minimum 30 frames smooth on the Steam Deck. I think that's fair. I think that's really fair to say for games to do. And on top of that, I think if we released more tooling to help optimize games too, could also help. So Unreal, Unity, Godot could all have supporting utilities or software packages that could help them point out how they could optimize this in their games. Because oftentimes it could just come down to they need to, depending on what type, like Unreal can do certain types of texture scaling, but there's other ways like creating lower polygon versions and then shipping with those, or there's options that they can do. It just takes time and know-how and expertise. And I think with how complex things have gotten and budget cuts and people wanting to have a polished game, and I'd rather have the game play how I want it to play and play like on higher end hardware than to have tons of bugs or have it not be flushed out how I want it to be and run on the lower end. I'm not saying that's what's necessarily going on. That's just my take on it. I think it's honestly, I'm going to put a little blame on Nvidia. I'm going to put some blame on developers, and I'm going to put some blame on AMD, and I'm going to put some blame in a lot of different areas, but Nvidia is not doing enough for us and personally, and if we had a better competitor, like AMD does an okay job, but they need to do better, we wouldn't have to use Nvidia. While I do like RTX, I would honestly, if I was more VRAM or RTX, I'd probably go for a little more VRAM personally. But they have to keep on selling things and trying to sell these things that are going to wow people. That's just the name of the game. It's not changed in decades. I mean, they were doing, I wouldn't put RTX as a gimmick, but they were doing semi-gimmicky things even with the Voodoo cards. Lomkey, I think the frame mislandering, that's all. How to frame it. It's been fine if they did DLSS versus DLSS with the frame engine. I mean, I showed you guys stuff last week, and they do some comparisons with DLSS and non-DLSS, but they could definitely do better. And also with this right here, like NVIDIA's new RTX delivers RTX performance, blah. Okay, where's this statement coming from? During today's NVIDIA's CES 2025 keynote, Jun-Sun Hung, Jun-Sun Hung, that's how you say that, right? It doesn't matter. Announced the new RTX Black, and then, offering RTX 4090 performance at $549. So yeah, that's what he said. So yes, is that a lie? Yes. Because the performance is not the same. It is the 4090 and the 5070 do not perform on the same level. That is a lie. DLSS is not a replacement for performance. What it is it's it essentially, DLSS 4 really what it does is just gives you more frame rate. So it gives you triple frame generation in between every frame. Between every frame, there's 3 other frames, I believe is how it works, guys. So that's kind of where the lie. NVIDIA. I mean, let's be honest. This is a lie, but it is frustrating. But to the average person, do you think, I gotta ask chat, do you think the average person will even care or notice if DLSS 4 is just automatically enabled? Because NVIDIA has their numbers set to 80% of the people play with DLSS on. That being said, unless you're doing extremes, the DLSS, it doesn't look that bad. If you're pumping that thing out at an ultra and you are trying to get as much frame rate and as much performance out as you can, you're going to be getting artifacting. So maybe people that have a lot of blurring going on with their DLSS and FSR, you guys might just be pushing the limits of it too much. You need to step back a little bit with the upscaling and with the frame generation. BT Maverick, Indiana Jones on the sweet optimized ID engine handled the ray tracing amazingly, and that's not even talking about the id engine, about the path tracing. Yes, path tracing, ray tracing. And I agree with that, BT Maverick. That's the thing. Like, engines also are a big deal when it comes to these types of optimizations, and I do think as some of the hardware kind of just gets just a little bit bigger of a bump, you'll start to see like ray tracing not be as big of a deal. But yeah, the real savage, I'm still rocking a 3080 Ti and 3070 in my other setup. Nice. I have a 3090 in my setup. BT Maverick also has a 3080 Ti. Oh, that's right, Chad. You paid $1,600 for your white 4080. Cards were a little more expensive too back then with some shortages, but also like you got almost a limited edition kind of 4080. It looked sick. Chad's setup is sick. It was like, what, 2 years ago you built it? Wolf, I got my 2080 Ti still running well. Yeah, that 2080 Ti is still pretty good, actually. Chad, so I may do a new AM5 build Brink. I am thinking about doing an AMD build also. We'll see, though. Like, I have a lot of plans, and I need to budget it out. I need to make more videos so I can budget it out and actually build more for you guys. Chad, Intel messed up, I heard. Don't know how, though. Honestly, Intel did mess up. They're kind of on my crap list a little bit. So they had a series like this happened. I don't think their newest series has this issue, but for like I think it was 2 or 3 generations for a few years, they had a bug where if it hit a certain criteria, it would kill your CPU, essentially. They have a fix for some of it, and some of it's just not, you can't fix it. So hopefully you don't hit that criteria that will brick your CPU. That being said, I think it's all fixed. I doubt you're going to see it again because they usually are pretty vigilant, and they did offer some refunds, but Intel just hasn't been impressing me as much lately, except for the newest APU setup for their next handhelds are actually, they look pretty good. Akeem, welcome. Most people are on lower end cards anyways, so even 12 gigabytes is fine. My 4070 Ti has 12 gigabytes, and I play the finals and COD at 240 frames per second at 1440p. Damn, I did not. That's actually really good. Yeah, well, so, okay, 12 gigabytes is fine, depending on what kind of game you're playing. If you're playing online games, kind of like Call of Duty and some of these other games, Call of Duty's textures are optimized. Their texture? Their textures are optimized. Their sound is not. That's why it's so massive. They use WAV files. And so, yeah, it's it's fine depending on who you are. So if you grab yourself, let's say, a 4070, you're most likely going to be able to play most games, even if it's at like 1080, 1440 at plenty of frames per second. It's when you start to get into 4K area where you almost always have to have like the most expensive setup to play 4K games. The real savage, I paid close to $1,600 for my 3080 Ti EVGA few, but before they left the GPU business. Oh, that's right. I really liked EVGA's video cards. I really like them as a company. BT Maverick, hopefully AMD's next chipset using AI upscaler rather than predictive upscaling should help, but they're both years behind. I don't know if I'd go as far as years behind. I think AMD is a little behind on their system or their stuff, but I do think like FSR is pretty good. I like FSR. I think it's a great way. Like, there's some games I want to play on the Steam Deck, and I'm fine with it not looking like perfect as long as I get decent enough frame rate. It can be a little blurry to me. I grew up, playing games in the 90s and 2000s, so things got a little blurry with the PlayStation. Akeem, the moment we opened the flood doors for fake frames, the DLSS optimization was doomed. No, it's Moore's Law is dead. And that's what doomed it. The concept that we think that we could always be doubling performance has doomed it. Honestly, like, people are fine. Like, a lot of people are fine with DLSS and FSR as it's set normally. A lot of people aren't. It just depends on who you are. For those that, like, let's say if you get a 4090, it's $2,000. It's super expensive. You're going to be able to run almost anything at fairly maxed specs, right? Like, that's just the name of the game. And also, I do think, though, that we need to stop pushing for the ultra settings, because the ultra settings and the high settings oftentimes don't have like a huge difference. There's not like a huge gains in visuals. I would definitely say that's another one that kicks people's butt, is that they always try to do ultra, me included, and then they get disappointed with games, and they just need to start having like just a little bit lower settings, because some of those things that they push just really don't matter. They just are taxing on your system, in my opinion. But I also agree. I think games need to be more optimized, and I think we're going to be starting. I think we'll start seeing more games optimized. We're having, I think, some architecture shifts. We're having some other shifts on the way games are built and developed. But fidelity also is, as a selling point, but so is stylized games, so is a story. I think we're going to be getting some better optimized games, and it also depends on what studio it is. And if you don't like how optimized it is, reviews usually say it, and then you don't buy it, and then they lose money. Is usually how it works, right? Usually, you vote with your dollars with this type of stuff. Cascoder, the 7900 XTX GPUs. So, weren't these the... Are these the newest ones that came out this year? Like with last year, 24 gigabytes. Okay. I honestly, AMD's naming conventions are so hard for me to track. I really hate it. Yeah, this is last year's. AMD's cards are pretty good too, personally. But if you don't like DLSS or FSR, then I don't know if it matters which one you get for the most part. Let's be fair, Xbox and PlayStation promised 4K gaming. They can't. Nvidia and AMD never promised anything. So, PlayStation and Xbox can play 4K. But they typically don't, right? There's very little games that probably output to 4K. But they have upscaling technology. TVs have upscaling technology. And honestly, it works pretty decent. Like, I've played Doom. If you've ever played Doom on the Steam Deck on a TV, it looks amazing and runs really well. So I would definitely say it's a little different depending on what your setup is. Nvidia and AMD never promised anything. They do promise stuff, but it's not the same. And it is very frustrating, because with the Xbox and PlayStation, we're not at 4K gaming yet, because we're still, look at it this way. I'm not trying to be defensive on this. I just think that this is a more complicated issue than people think it is. Building games is just so complicated nowadays. And think about games as building out these big worlds that have tons of assets that interact. And when you get physics involved, things become much hairier. But so you build out these worlds and stuff. They build out in a depth, in a breadth kind of way. Then on top of that, that's gonna put, every time we build it out bigger and better and add more textures and everything, 4K gaming becomes even harder to get up there on the vertical. So to get up from a 2K to the 4K becomes, like, as it gets bigger, or from a breadth, it gets harder to go up in the depth, or go down in the depth if you want to go 4Ks at the bottom. It's very hard to do that. That's why some games do it well, some games don't. Some games are very constrained and very optimized, like Doom Eternal, and some games aren't, because the constraints are very hard to put in. Yeah. Wolf, oh yeah, your PC would always crash, and just recently they got a patch, but didn't work for everyone. What PC? My PC has been having issues. That's why, actually, that's another reason I haven't been streaming video games much on my other alt account, because it's been having issues, and I don't want to try to play a game and have it crash at the same time while streaming. I'll figure something out this year, but I have to get other things done. We'll talk about that at the end of the stream. BT Maverick, Call of Duty also streams their textures in. They do, that's right. So as you get closer, they stream in different texture sizes. So that far away textures are very low poly, and then as you get closer, it's full poly, like how much polygons that you'd expect. The 3DX is AM5 socket, isn't it? Not sure. AMD one step behind of Nvidia, hard to catch up until Nvidia messes up. I agree with that, Lomkey. I think Nvidia is potentially on the verge of messing up, and I think AMD is going to catch up. I actually think that. But AMD, I mean, Nvidia, there's a leaked thing, which maybe I should have brought that up this time, but there is leaked Nvidia APU stuff out there. So if you haven't noticed, it sounds like Nvidia is entering the APU game, which is essentially it's the CPU GPU combo that's in Steam Deck and a bunch of other devices. And we heard that Nvidia wanted to start getting into the mobile game for mobile PC gaming devices, not just Switch. And so we might be getting an Nvidia APU chipset this year. That'd be crazy. Will it work with SteamOS? Who knows? But they were nice enough. Like, Nvidia made an application. I don't know if it's released yet, but their GeForce Now application now works on Steam Deck, or will once they release it. I don't know exactly the full criteria of that. I just know that you can stream games from your GeForce Now account on your Steam Deck without going through extra hoops like I've had to set up. Real Savage, have you tried lossless scaling on the Steam Deck since they last updated? I have not. Is it good? Lomkey, a bit. What happened with Intel? They messed up. AMD passed them. Yeah, I don't know if AMD's passed Intel, but they are very much neck and neck in a lot of ways, and especially since CPU is not as important as GPU and some of these other aspects, especially depending on if you're playing just games or whatever it is. GPU tends to be the most important thing, but you can still bottleneck yourself with a CPU if you're not careful. And you can there's AMD CPUs that work fine with any range of NVIDIA device or AMD device. Cascoder, you listed, those are your specs. That's right. Sorry. That is right. I forgot you had that type of setup. Thanks, Cascoder. Chad, did you see my message above that I got a new white same case my buddy didn't want because he got a different new one? No, I didn't. You should post it in Discord if I haven't seen it yet. So you'll start your new build on that one. That's awesome. Are you going to do it step by step, like buy parts and then build it out? That's how you should do it, Chad. just reading chat right now. The Real Savage, not sure if lossless scaling is to be used on PC and not on Steam Deck. If anyone knows, let me know. I don't know. Is that what we're talking about with the TV? I don't remember what type of technology it is. I just know that they've had upscaling for a long time. And it tends to work fairly decent depending on what the game is. It's not like, I would say, amazing. Nvidia would need to get Windows and anti-cheat makers to work on ARMs. That's a problem at the moment. It is, but ARM is becoming very popular, and that I did for the Nvidia chipset is ARM based, partially because I believe Nintendo's is ARM based, isn't it, or is it a custom architecture? I don't know, but the APU that I was talking about from Nvidia should be ARM based, which has got me excited because I actually want a lot of these systems. Like I wanted an ARM-based AMD chip to come out this year, which there's a chance there was leaks last year that they are working. Well, the roadmap I believe says there's going to be an ARM chip, but my hope is that it's going to come out or at least be unveiled this year at one point. But we'll see, because the ARM chipsets are very, very energy performant, which is really good for handhelds. So if Nvidia does do, like, of course, we're going to have some growing pains with that. That will take a few years, and anti-cheat probably won't work right off the bat. But I guarantee you in like 5 years from now, you'll be able to play Fortnite on any of these devices. I can almost guarantee it at this point. Like, I know that Epic can be a little annoying at times. I do think they'd cave at that point, though. Cascoder, Nvidia already made the Nvidia Shield, which was the Switch's SoC before it was adopted as the Switch SoC. Yes and no. From my understanding, that it is the same architecture, but they optimized it a little bit. The APU that they use in the Switch is similar to the one that was done in the Nvidia Shield way back in the day. BT Maverick, there's a little tinkering you have to do to make sure your AMD 3D CPU to park its cores. If you don't, you're going to lose 28% of your potential. Damn, that's good. That's good to know, BT Maverick. Crazy Nvidia was trying to buy ARM before the Federal Trade Commission shut that down. That would have been bad. That would have been interesting. Let's just say, my personal opinion is that our timeline is already pretty like kind of effed right now when it comes to the world, in my opinion. You guys probably know stuff. I'm not going to go into any more than that. But Nvidia getting ARM would have been very interesting, because the Mac, so the Mac Mini or the M chip series is ARM based. So, and like Apple would be giving royalties to like Nvidia. That'd be crazy. And then, so, man, ARM. I think ARM's. I don't like any one company honestly owning ARM. And to be frank, I would like to see. I don't know. It is what it is. The ARM architecture, I'd like to see it similar or just ARM being used with AMD. It'd be interesting. BT Maverick, lol, I would love to see what it would have caused as well, and I agree with your sentiment. Yeah. It would be interesting. Okay, so a part of me wishes, like, I want a simulator that is like a VR game or a VR program where I can simulate what a certain action would take and what would happen for like 10 years. That would be fun. Because an Nvidia takeover and some of these other blocked acquisitions would have been very interesting. Blizzard, if they didn't get bought up by Microsoft, speaking of Microsoft, would it still be around? Speaking of Microsoft, how Microsoft plans to kill the Steam Deck. Forget Windows, we're talking Xbox versus Steam now. Microsoft can't be happy about the Steam Deck after all. PC gaming has long been about Windows for decades. Yet now, one of the hottest PC gaming systems is a portable Linux PC that runs Windows games. That's right, the Steam Deck has really taken off. Okay, I'm being a little bombastic here. But this... So the plan is Windows is going to start having okay, the work Microsoft has already done. While Valve's Steam Deck has a custom designed interface that works on handhelds, Microsoft has done a bit of their own work to make Windows run better on gaming portables. Not much, but not zero either. For example, you can toggle compact mode in an Xbox game. Xbox app on Windows is designed to make the Xbox app more usable on small screens, but see, it's not automatic. So here's the thing with experiences, and this is why Windows is kind of dying if they don't get their shit together. You need things to be automatic to a point for a lot of users. If they're using a certain device, they should be triggering certain stuff, like let's say compact mode, full screen, stuff like that. If they're using that, they should either have it be boot into, like when you log in, even you could even select, like there's a lot of ways that they could be making this a better experience than what they're doing right now. Like Windows on a handheld is just not great. Just be honest. Steam Deck on a handheld, great. Windows and like ASUS with some additional software, pretty good. Doesn't beat Steam Deck, but pretty good. But I really do think if Windows is not careful, they're going to lose a lot of share of the gaming side of users of Microsoft Windows. So we'll see. I know that they're planning on making a Microsoft or like a handheld version of Windows next or the big sometime this year. They want to release it. I've told you guys have been here. We talked about this. They should have been doing this 3 years ago instead of putting all their chips into AI play. Which I really don't think has netted them anything on the desktop side. I really don't think that many people use the AI stuff. I've tried it. It was okay. I'd rather just use my ChatGPT app that I can use across multiple devices. My phones, tablets, Mac, and Windows. So having it baked into like the operating system is like okay. Even like with Apple, I think you can hook up your ChatGPT like credentials to Apple and have retention there. But even with Apple, I use their AI, but I use it to do very specific tasks. Windows, I actually kind of used the Cortana system a little bit, but they got rid of that. So, Lomke, what do you think about the Risk V5? I think maybe the future. I don't know what I think about it because I don't know if I've touched it, but I just wanted to touch this a little bit. I think Microsoft plans to okay, so how Microsoft will kill it? I don't think they're going to be killing the Steam Deck anytime soon. What I do think that they're going to be doing some pivoting, and I could see the next Xbox. Yeah, they're Xbox. This is an Xbox campaign. It's going to be okay. I don't think it's going to beat any Steam Decks. But if they come out with an Xbox handheld, let's just say it's a Xbox handheld, they will do very well. They will. I'll buy it. Honestly, there's a good chance I would buy it. But we'll see. I don't know which way they're going to go. Is it going to be Windows? Is it going to be an Xbox? Like, they have a lot of different directions they can go that would really facilitate the community's wants. Okay, yeah, is open source instruction set architecture for designing custom processors. Okay, the RISC-V. So I did look into this a while ago. It's just been so long. So what is RISC-V? Popular. Why is RISC? It's open and royalty free, so anyone can use it. It's flexible, so users can tailor the processors to their software. It's high performance and power efficient. Yeah, this would be interesting. I'm curious. Does any chipsets have RISC-V in it yet? I think we could see some architecture changes, but we'll have to see. Personally, it really, really depends on what's going on. Yeah, and you have power PC. Damn. There's a lot of options, but I'm not an architecture expert on this type of stuff. I do like open source though. And doing this type of thing is my preferred way of seeing it. I don't like architectures being owned by a specific company. It's just not as great. They're Risk 5 laptops, but as more of a testing dev, but it works. Yeah. How well does it work though? That's my thing is, I think for companies to invest in this, it's going to have to work with existing software. And I just don't know how it's going to work with existing software personally. So if it works good, great. Okay, guys. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about this. What do you guys think? I am curious what you guys think. This is from a year ago of this Gamers Nexus. And I'm going to get into a little bit of drama. Hopefully you guys are okay with it, but I'm just getting kind of tired of seeing this back and forth. And I'm getting tired of Gamer Nexus making videos that are just, honestly, I don't think they're very helpful. They're semantics kind of style of things where I don't think it really matters that much. I think every tech content creator does things differently. Like me, like my stuff is different than Linus and everyone else. I would like to get deeper into things. It just takes a really long time. And if I don't have a team, it's harder. Gamers Nexus has been building their brand like on controversy. Very dangerous road to build it on. What do you guys think of this? I'm curious. Lomke, what do you think? Have you guys been following this? We don't have to go too deep into this, but it is an interesting topic. So, yeah, Gamers Nexus is filing a class action lawsuit. He's not the only one. There's other people that are filing class action lawsuits. Is he the one that's doing it? I know that there is some content creator lawyers that are doing it too. But lawsuit against Honey vowing to fight against the app and sue the company amid allegations that he scammed creators, viewers, and vendors. I believe they did scam some viewers. They scammed mostly creators, from my understanding, more than anything. But it's pretty bad. Also, I don't know what people expected. This is one of those times where I don't like it, but what do you expect, Honey? Like, to be free? Like, I don't understand that. What do you think Honey was getting their money to run that system? It usually costs money to have databases and have services running that type of thing. So I'm kind of curious where people thought that, because things just, if it's free, remember who the product is. You're the product, or you're being used like a product. That's why I actually, depending on what type of software it is, I will either look for a subscription or a pay. I prefer to not do subscription, but I'll still do a subscription depending on what it is. And I'd rather pay money for something than not. But I did use Honey though. I just was woefully an idiot about it, and I was ignorant about it, and at the end of the day, I don't think I was hurt that much by it. BT Maverick, I would love to see the hybrid console handheld where they're saying you'll be able to have stores fronts like Steam and Epic, which everyone wins. Okay. Hybrid console handhelds. I mean, I've thought about extending. I could extend Bazite, or I could extend Steam Deck and create my own distro. I'm not against it. If SteamOS is open source enough, if they ever open source enough, I could always piggyback off their system because it's React, is how they build out their UI. I honestly could easily work with that system because that's what I write in almost every day is React. So I've thought about turning my project into something like that. At the end of the day, it'd be easier, but I'm not a Linux developer, so it'd be really difficult for me to. I could do the interface, but everything else would have to be borrowed from someone else. BT Maverick, Lomke, Honey was not that great when I tried it, so I uninstalled it. Yeah, no, Lomke. For me, Honey used to be good and it got worse over time, so I just haven't used it much. I have it. Actually, I might have uninstalled it too a while ago because I'd have to look, but it was useful at a time for me. But it's definitely not as good nowadays. Akeem, yeah, the Windows handhelds work great for that. I just use Play Night. It lets you use launchers and emulation. Yeah. There's a lot of options out there for playing, for doing stuff. Yeah. Chris Lee, if they make an Xbox handheld, what size do you think, the battery size, do you think it would be? That's a good question. I could see them, depends on how bulky they would make it, but I could see them doing either a 54 or a 70 watt. Between somewhere around those areas. But once again, speculation. I think it will essentially, they'll be able to optimize the battery life too, probably even better than Steam Deck, with the way that they optimize their software, but who knows, maybe not. It'd be interesting. 48 AA batteries. Oh, so it's the Game Gear. Xbox Game Gear. Actually, Sega's owned by Nintendo, right? So the Switch Game Gear. That's what the new Switch 2 is going to be. The Game Gear. Raichi, if so for some context for the Game Gear stuff, it had 8 AA batteries, and you'd go through those batteries every like 30 minutes to an hour or something like that. It was ridiculous. It probably was like an hour, but it was really like, it was not power efficient, and you went through a lot of batteries. Let's just say I contributed to probably a lot of the landfill batteries. If Xbox makes handhelds, it should be called the Duke. I agree actually with that, Raichi. I really like that because the Duke would be awesome. I would 100% pre-order that, the Dookie. Definitely like that, Raichi. Yeah. Lomki, I remember Game Gear was cool, but them batteries. Oh yes. It's what you had though. You had that, or you had a Game Boy. And the Game Boy didn't have color. The Game Gear did. And the Game Gear, in my opinion, had a better controller setup. It is essentially the precursor to what we have today. There's some other handheld systems that are like one-offs that were before the Game Gear, but the Game Gear has the screen in the middle and the controllers on the side. It is the precursor. It is the great granddad to what the Steam Deck is today. So yeah. Okay, guys, you guys can keep talking about this stuff. We'll bring it in. The Gamers Nexus thing. I just really honestly, I'm the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm getting really tired of Gamers Nexus, just really attacking Linus, and I get it. Linus has, there's controversies behind that, but he actively goes out of his way to just really, it's really put me off to watching his stuff. I'll be honest. I think he gets a little too negative, and in today's world, we need a little bit more positive. Things still need to be negative. Don't get me wrong. Like, corporations are being dumb. Ubisoft is being dumb. We have plenty of targets to attack. We have plenty. Okay, guys. I don't think it's worth attacking Linus, in my opinion. I don't, it's crazy. So essentially, Linus doesn't want to be a part of the class action lawsuit because he doesn't really want to take a stance on the whole thing. He's the one that was hurt more than the consumers, which I agree with him on that. I actually don't, I used Honey for a while, and Honey would put their own code in sometimes, but I would also look through all the other codes, and sometimes it was the only one that would be the right one. So yeah, it's a hard one. We can leave this. I just wanted to throw this story out because if you guys aren't interested in it, that's fine. It's just, I don't mind Gamers Nexus. I am getting tired of, it's like CoffeeZilla has to keep on doing gotcha. And it's not gotcha. He's not like a scam artist. He does great work, but his stories are having to be like really big, and eventually you're gonna run out of stories. And what do? Some people will create drama to make stories. I think that's what GamerNexus is kind of doing. I think he needs to just let different divides of different people, different groups of different tech people just do it the way they want to do it. That's just how I think. You don't grow to Linus's size and not have what they honestly. It's the best that we could have asked for what Linus's system is like, in my opinion. Raichi, Linus helped millions of people to understand PCs and build one. Agreed. He makes things fun. He's more entertaining than he is informative. GamerNexus tends to be a little more informative, where Linus tends to be more entertaining. I even back when this controversy, I didn't want to jump into it too hard, like even a year and a half ago, because I didn't know what was going on. It was hearsay. And that being said, everyone wrongs someone at one time in their life. I guarantee everyone that's in chat has wronged someone in their lives at one time. And if you say you haven't, then I think you need to do some introspective realization. Like, you really need to do some meditation and realize that you probably have that, maybe some autism going on, some of the autism going on, maybe because that's indicative too. Like, sometimes you don't realize you wrong people, and people with autism tend to, get stuck in their own ways of doing things. But besides the jokes or off-colored jokes, everyone's wrong someone. And so I think you got to give people a little bit of lenience. And I think LTT deserves leniency, honestly. And at the same time, though, you got to still hold content creators and people to an account to a point. So that's just my opinion on that. Gamers Nexus, honestly, I think looks worse in a lot of these things more and more to me. That's where we'll put it. It's just a little, it's not very fun to always have to be in a negative space. Okay, we can move on, guys. Lomki has the teddy bear. Okay, you have the teddy bear. You have the teddy bear. Does that mean that you're going to be saying the thing? Windows wrong me, so I'm on Linux. Windows wrongs me, so I'm on Linux. Yeah, that's fine. Like, I don't think Windows is bad. I just don't think Windows is as great as it could be. And I think there's other options that are just better. I think Mac and Linux are just a better option right now. My biggest problem with switching fully over to Linux is that I'm still doing game development, and I'm not going to do some game engine that doesn't run that might be like niche and it runs on Linux, while Unreal runs on Linux. It doesn't run on it great. Once it's really good on there, then I will. Or Source 2, Source 3. If Valve ever came out with their frickin' engine, I would probably convert my game over to that if it made sense, unless I had some real big reasons not to. Raichi, Ubisoft lost all its goodwill. They are asking for us to forget about them. I agree with that, Raichi, actually. I actually agree that Ubisoft is one of those companies where they have lost their, they've lost it. I agree. Blizzard hasn't done that for me quite yet, but Ubisoft has gone past that, where Blizzard's not like, I want it to be ripped apart and have the IP sold to other companies so at least we can get something. Ubisoft's one of those companies where I'm like, yeah, I kind of want them to have their IPs sold to other, maybe even AA, or to publishers that will then give it to AA developers, and we'll be getting some good IPs that are not clouded by really weird initiatives that Ubisoft has. Now, here's a fun little topic. NVIDIA's AI NPCs are a nightmare. Hopefully they have a... Oh, come on. Of course. Dude, are these all taken down? Oh well, they're all taken down. Um, the rise of AI NPCs has felt like a looming threat for years, as if developers couldn't wait to dump human writers and offload NPC conversations to generative AI models. At CES 2025, Nvidia made it plainly clear the technology was right around the corner. PUBG developer Krafton, for instance, plans to use Nvidia ACE Avatar Cloud Engine to power AI companions, that is interesting. If I was to build a big enough world, I'd use something like this, but I would probably have a writer that would train it and then continually train it. Like I don't like the idea of replacing people's jobs with AI, but I want generative AI to make unique experiences that you just couldn't have with writers. Unless you set like 1,000 writers down and just mapped out like 1,000,000+ different scenarios that interconnect, you just can't do that where AI could do that. This is what's really cool. I really like this type of thing for the future. And here, let me zoom in so you guys can see better. I really like this idea of generative AI for doing NPCs. That being said, I want them to be minor NPCs. I do not want them to be the major NPCs. I don't want my story that is like let's say Witcher 3, right? I go through the main story. I don't want those to be AI. I don't want those to be AI. I want those to be human. I want them to be scripted by humans. I want everything to be fleshed out by humans. I want the secondary objectives or just random people out in the world where you can just like, shove them and just depending on their personality type, personality levels, and a bunch of other things, see how they interact or talk with people, have a conversation like, hey, you're in a video game. Did you know that? And just see them go just absolutely batshit crazy and then like overtake your computer and take over the world kind of thing. I want to see... I don't want to see Terminator, but I want to see this type of stuff. I think it's really cool. I think there's a place for AI personally. You guys have heard me say this. I think there's a place for AI. And it's mostly machine learning, to be fair. Machine learning and generative models. Like saying generative AI models is very not correct. It definitely does use a couple of different aspects of AI-like tooling, but I'll go with what they're saying, I guess. BT Maverick, I swear there's like a chat censor lol that won't let my chat go through. I have it set to top chat, so let me switch this over to live chat. And so I might see your stuff now. So Lumkey must be just YouTube and then Gadget not working together well. That's true. AI should be just a tool to help, not to replace. I agree. I agree to a point. I think for tasks that are nearly impossible for humans, I think it needs to be used. Like I said, for secondary characters or for having like a very immersive world. If I had the time, I want to build this, but it's not going to be. There's someone else is going to get it to before me, and there's already people working on it. But I'd love to build a world where you can go and interact with people that have that have persona types, which you could build out. You could probably use a psychologist, honestly. That would be fun. That would be really fun to build out and see what people think of it. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't use it to replace top tier creative jobs. Just me. I really, that's another thing I really hate about some of these companies is they're trying to replace voice actors or use their rights to use their use generative AI for their voices when that's just bullshit. Give them royalties if they want to use them for, let's say, like third parties, like for, let's say you have a voice actor and you can change their tonage just enough across different NPCs, give them royalties for that if you can use their voice for generative stuff like that. And honestly, like for anything that you trained to with a lot of the stuff, you should be given royalties, we got to have new laws on this. And so, yeah, it is what it is. I should I trade? I'll come out with a new game, guys. It's gonna be called The Brink World, and I'm gonna train the AI on my voice, so you're gonna have everyone that sounds like me wandering around. It'll be a little bit more higher pitched, sounding like on a female. You'll have a fun time, right? Not nightmare fuel. Genshin Impact is 100% going for AI. Yeah, I'm not surprised. A lot of these companies are finding. So here's the thing. Here's the thing that big top business people are not going to tell you. The tech industry is taking a very, very dark turn. You guys thought it was dark in the past? No, like some censorship is fine. Like we've been censoring for decades, TV and everything. Some censorship is fine. What's not fine is some of these directions that they're going, where they're going to be replacing most jobs. Meta is replacing, and they said mid-managers, engineering managers, but I think it's also a lot of mid-engineers too are getting replaced at Meta this year. There's a couple other companies that are big companies. They're not hiring any more engineers. They're hiring salespeople and some other people, but they're not hiring any more engineers because they're going to be. And unfortunately, what's going to really happen is that the existing engineers are going to have to work harder because it's harder to get a job, and they're going to have to pick up that slack. They'll still use some AI to do it. And then eventually, once they've burnt those guys out for a few years and like essentially killed them, they'll have AI that's good enough to build some of the stuff. To be fair, like AI will get good enough to build a good chunk of products to a point. It won't be, I don't think it's going to be good enough for a long time to do very fringe creative things. So we'll see. Like having a AI completely build a video game, I don't think it's going to be like a good video game is going to be possible for a long time, but to have it replace portions of it, yeah, definitely. And funny enough, as if I was a game engineer, I definitely feel much better about my career path than I am right now in my career path. I'm luckily like far enough into it where I should be okay for a while, but I have my contingency plans. I don't actually recommend anyone go into the field anymore now. Like, and it's not because they couldn't use engineers. They could. It's because they're trying to cut every corner possible to earn just a little bit more money. And it's so money grubby. And you know, guys, how I feel about that. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. Get yours, but once you're a billionaire, you've already got yours and then some. So step down and just have some fun. It's stop competing for money. It's not worth it. Yeah. So I think this is really cool. I honestly like seeing this type of AI stuff. And it's a double-edged sword though, because like I said, I like seeing it, but I'm afraid what big companies are going to do with it. So for me, and I want to get more into this type of thing, but more for third-party reasons, I love it. Big companies don't love it. And I don't know how you'd like outlaw that, but it's great for little developers, bad for big developers typically. Oh my gosh, is this freaking paid? Oh well, we won't talk about this. There will be a black market AI from people who need a job. Even their laws can't put food on the table following the laws. Rachie, we will never retire. Dude, that would be hilarious. AI is like, we need human slaves at all time. We're gonna download your consciousness into this like machine that's just going to mine Ethereum, which is crypto. I don't know. I don't know where it's gonna go, but all I know is it's gonna suck. And plan on a lot of products sucking. I'm hoping they suck enough to where new startups can come in and take over. Because Zuckerberg, honestly, his flip-flopping on crap is getting really annoying. It's getting really, really annoying, and it just comes off as two-faced. However you want to look at it. Not that I use Facebook much. I don't mind Facebook, but I just get tired of it. I actually like this. I'm gonna save this for later. Maybe do a full video on it. Honestly, I think that's everything I have. Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about? I'm pretty much at the end of my this week's not going to be like the longest episode. Why I never pick up a Meta VR headset? I wanted to, guys. Oh yes, Blood of Dawn Walker. Thank you, Icarus. Oh, this is yes. This is a topic I did want to bring up. Okay, so guys, I look at news and I look at everything throughout the week, and I am really crappy. Like, I'm really like bad at saving things and bringing them to this show. I want to do a better job of compiling the show in the future. And I'm going to have your guys' help and you're going to have a leaderboard. We'll get into the games revealed stuff. It'll be stuff that I've talked about in the past, but I really want to make this happen. And I'm actually fairly close to releasing something. So, but let's look at the Witcher 4 alternate universe. Some people are saying, "Oh, this looks better than The Witcher 4." I don't agree with that. I think Ciri looks amazing in The Witcher 4. I think The Witcher 4 looks like it's going to be a good game, personally. But this game looks sick. Okay, let's watch the so this one's presented by shoot. What? Oh. Okay, guys, give me a second. It's like, I'm pretty sure I was logged in, but it logged me out in this area. Excuse me. Okay. Oop. So yeah, this is from the director of Witcher 3, if you didn't catch that, which is pretty awesome. Oh, yeah. Let me know if it's too loud for you guys.
It's all right. Lunka! Don't hurt her!
You gave us quite the chase, young man.
Please, sir. She's just a child.
Ah, Roderick, remind me, did I make an exception for children?
No, sire.
No. That would have been foolish, would it not? They spread the plague just as well as adults. And there's only one way to stamp out this sickness.
No!
Not just a runner, but a fighter, too. Had we met under a different moon, things might have ended there.
Nice. I actually didn't see the whole thing of this.
Lunka?
I'm assuming they're vampires.
needs help. Fast. Please, let us pass through. I beg of you. Please. Please.
This is a very...
How?
I am life. I am death. I am everything in between. I have been watching your little valley. Pestilence, famine, killing, blood spilled carelessly like water. Things will be different now.
Oh, dude, his leg. Wow, that is detail.
For all of you.
The world needs what it fears. So is this like a goes back in time and changes time? Yeah. This goes back to a certain point, resets time for like America, like for the world history. Maybe, I don't know. The blood of the Dawn Walker. Damn. Bandy Namco. Okay, Namco's doing it. Interesting. It's not going to be just PS5, is it? Because this is on the PlayStation, so they're of course they're going to be showing it. But this is for PC also, right? Let's see here. Yep. It's developed on Unreal Engine. Once again, it looks amazing, right, guys? For PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. Okay, cool. That's awesome. I'm really excited for this. This is a game that... I don't know. I like vampires. I like zombies. And so you kind of get that with this, where with The Witcher 4, while I really liked Witcher 3, Witcher 4 I could still really like, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see which one's a little bit better. Yeah, Chad, Lomkey, or the Icarus, I am excited for this too. Chris Lee, how big of a battery can they put in a gaming handheld? Is it a limit, and how long do you think we'll see? 100 to 200 watt battery in a handheld. So 100 watts is the max that you can put in for a carry-on device for airplanes. If it's any bigger, you're not getting that thing on that plane no matter what. There might be some exceptions, but 100 watts is the most you can get on an airplane. You can't check it on. You can't carry it on if it's bigger than that. So, yeah. So battery sizes, like the cell sizes, have already gone down a little bit. And so you'll probably see some bigger size batteries which we've already kind of seen, be put in devices and their footprint doesn't go up too high. But we will probably see, who knows? We could probably see 100 soon at one point. But what they're gonna have to do is do a more concentration of power in a smaller footprint. And the problem is, the more concentrated the power gets, the more explosive it can get. And so if that contained system isn't done right, you'll have a bigger explosion. You have yourself a little electric bomb walking around. So you got to be careful. Lomkey, it's not. So with batteries, we're still not like, it's not a Moore's law thing. It's not like they're getting smaller every year, but we're still finding better ways to do batteries to this day. So battery tech, I still don't think is at its. I think between battery tech, I think everything all around will become more efficient, and eventually we'll have something pretty decent in, like, unfortunately, 10, 20 years. Just in time for me to retire. Maybe. Yeah, well, I wouldn't be retiring yet, but still. Raichi, still no sign of Bloodline 2. I know. I'm really sad about that. I'm really worried. I don't think it's been canceled. If it is canceled, they would have said it, but they did a really, really weird thing by making 2 or 3 different games. They fractured it. And I think it caused a lot of issues. It says right here that the release date's this year, but we have not heard much about this. If you don't know anything about Bloodlines 1, it was a very popular vampire RPG, like first-person shooter RPG. You get a role play as a vampire in a vampire society. It's built on the Source engine. The Source engine. It was built on the same engine, I believe Half-Life 2 was. It was very rough, but very good from what I played. I did not beat it. I honestly, by the time I would have played it, and it was just a little rough, and I couldn't play it on the device I wanted to. So I think this is still coming out. I don't think it's been canceled. I think we would have known if it was canceled by now. But I have a feeling that they went back to the drawing board on some of their stuff, and yeah. Paradox. So wait, the Chinese Room, Hard Suit Labs Inc., and Paradox Interactive. That's because there's 3 different versions of this, right? They've done some really weird things. Hearts of Iron 4. Oh, okay. This will be interesting. This will be interesting. Yeah, Paradox Interactive is the publisher. The Icarus is supposed to release this year. Yeah, that's what it looks like. BT Maverick, give me that little nuclear fusion battery for the Steam Deck 5, right? Actually, funny enough, a self-contained nuclear device that's that small you'd have to find a way to extract the power out of it in a direct current fashion. So devices that use batteries are DC. And when you charge them, it's from an AC. So the DC, the direct current, a nuclear device wouldn't quite work. So even today, with nuclear reactors, you boil water. It's not like it's a full the energy is being translated into power directly. Wolf, no problem. Sorry if I missed anything. I'm back. My mom just got home from the hospital. How's your mom doing? I hope everything's going well. I hope she's doing well. Give her a warm welcome from all of us. You missed out on this game that you need to check out, Wolf. The Blood Dawnwalker. I think you'd like it. Wolf, you got to play. I think it's not out yet, but I definitely think this is one that I am going to be playing when this comes out. I'm super excited for it. Wireless energy, it was done. I think that was one way to go too. Wireless energy is still actually a thing that we can do. I mean, technically that's, you know how you charge your phones with, what is it called? We have wireless charging nowadays, but the problem is that the distance, the dispersion rate, it goes really high. Tesla did make a wireless electricity in some ways, or wireless energy, but it's very, yeah. Tesla did it in the past. Just need to be redone again and study. I mean, we kind of already do it. I don't know if it's quite the same way Tesla did it, but it does not mean it's going to translate over to something from a nuclear side of things. That energy transference is, and don't get me wrong, I am not an expert in any of this stuff. I don't think would translate. Yes, I agree with Lomkey. Tell your mom, hope she does well. Raichi, if only the government stopped killing people coming out with alternatives to oil. I don't think the government's really killing people that are coming out with alternatives to oil. I think it's just companies playing games that because the oil industry is so big, we have a lobbying industry to where oil buys politicians. That's your biggest kicker. I don't think it's really people. Like, why kill someone when you can just buy someone, right? Like, it's easier, it's less messy. I don't think people are getting killed. I think what's happening is lobbying's happening. It's done right in front of our eyes. Just saying. We could do a whole thing on this. It's done right in front of our eyes, which sucks. BT Maverick, it's funny, all the tech that falls on nuclear devices essentially reverts back to steam engines. Yeah, I mean, coal, steam engines is a very complicated way of saying it. Let's just say that. Very complicated. It is interesting, though. Once you harvest the energy and put it into a battery, though, running like a car, it's not steam engine, right? It's electromagnetic engine, essentially, right? Puts energy into the engine, into the motor, that is, and it turns the wheel. So, yeah, we need to invest in better, cheaper. Like, honestly, if we invested full hog into solar, and in electric cars, you could get rid of the oil industry and you could end up owning your own electricity. They don't want you to do that, though. Just saying. It's not really a conspiracy theory. At the end of the day, if you could put solar on your house, charge your battery in your house, and then maybe get back to the grid somewhat, you could get paid a little bit and also own your electricity. And I do like that. I do want to go. Whenever I own a house again, I will probably start going back to that realm of trying to do as much electric for the sole purpose that I own everything. So if gas goes up, I don't have to worry about it as much. Lomkey, Tesla wanted wireless energy for everyone, no matter where they were, with outlines. Yes, of course. I believe he invented DC, and what's his face invented AC, and AC won out on the grids, where DC is actually a safer current system of doing it. It sucks because Tesla was a brilliant inventor, but an okay business person, and I think there was a lot of crap that was done to him back then, and also a lot of bad bets on his side. Tesla, awesome person. Like, we're going to get there one of these days. DC is Thomas Edison. Are you sure DC's Thomas Edison? Am I wrong? I thought it was DC's the safer one. I'm pretty sure DC. Like, okay, you can correct me if I'm wrong in there, but I thought it was DC was Tesla, AC is DC's Tesla, AC's Thomas Edison. Lomkey Wolf. Ooh, Lomkey. Your mom was in the ICU, Lomkey. I'm sorry, man. That sucks. Let us know if you need anything. Once again, like, people in the community, if you guys need anything, throw it out in the Discord. If you guys really need someone, like, I'm more than happy to jump on and talk, or to play a game if you guys really want to play a game or something like that. I'm here. My priorities is that I'm not getting as involved with the community until I know I can commit back into it fully. So I'm still there, but like, I'm trying to get things. In fact, let's segue into that here in a second. BT Maverick, if they can figure out nuclear fusion, a bathtub of water has enough hydrogen to last one person for all of their daily needs for 30 years. The power of stars. I love Astro. Yes, I agree. And I honestly think they're going to get there with nuclear fusion, and we already have ways to do hydrogen-based fuel and systems, but they're not like perfect. There's definitely, I think Our innovation is stagnated partially because of money. We'll be honest. Like, I think people strive for money more nowadays than they do the adventure of what we can do. And I think we're going to get there soon. Lomki, yeah, she passed away. It was tough about 3 years ago. I know the feeling. Ooh, Lomki, that sucks, man. I'm so sorry. Raichi, Edison has the ruthless to be great. Tesla had the heart. Yep. I actually don't agree. I don't really like the ruthlessness of that some business people have. I don't actually agree with that. I think they succeed because we allow them to succeed. And some people even rebel, like they like people that are very cutthroat. And at the end of the day, Edison did some interesting things, but I remember him as an asshole. So I don't know if that's what you want, I guess. So yeah, what's going on with Games Revealed? Well, guys, I am trying to make more videos. I have a bunch of video ideas. I know I've promised things in the past, and I'm not going to like overpromise like always, but I'm going to be trying to make as many videos as I can. I'm going to try to build up to it though. And I am going to be trying to come out with a couple of videos a week. I'm going to be experimenting with the stream also to a point where I'm going to be experimenting. Let's just say I'll be chatting with you guys always. And if I let's say if I ever go away from chatting with you guys here, it will be in another channel like the Brink. So if I ever stop doing the streaming and the chatting with you guys here, I'll be somewhere. So don't worry about that. I love chatting with you guys. And so, yeah, I'm going to be probably doing this year more opinion pieces with my videos. So I will and I'll probably come out with a video too with the like updates to the channel and everything and where I've been. But I'm going to be doing more opinion. This is my chapstick. And it's Coca-Cola too. Like, don't. I also have this too, but don't think that I'm a Coca-Cola fanboy. I just really like Coca-Cola. Well, we don't need to get into that. Okay, so videos wise, I'm going to do some opinion pieces. I'm going to be trying to I actually have a media kit almost done. I'm going to be contacting some hardware companies. I need to up my numbers before I think some companies will send me devices, but I'm going to be upping my content. And so watching it, commenting on it, liking it, doing all that stuff is very helpful and will get me there faster. And it'll also make it so that I can get devices faster. And then what I'm going to be doing, the more devices I get, I don't like to hold on to all of them. I will be doing giveaways for some of them. I think Gardner also does that too. I think he gives away stuff too. I already have stuff that I almost want to give away. It's just expensive to kind of ship it. But if I get enough of it, I'll start shipping it and doing contests and stuff like that. I talked about this for years. Gamesrevealed.com. I've gone back and forth on what it is and everything. And back then, I had a lot more anxiety and a lot of other, honestly, just a lot of stress at that time when I was making the website the first time, right? If you guys remember, if you've been here long enough, most of you guys have, that I was building out a website and I had giveaways and doing other stuff. Well, I've been working on that on and off for a year and a half, 2 years. Wolf kind of knows about this too. And I will be doing a beta launch. And I'm not going to say when yet, but I think it's going to be sometime next month. Hopefully. Could be sooner, but plan on next month sometime. It's going to be a beta launch so people can sign up and then be a part of the beta run. So I'm hoping to have this show to be a part of it. You guys, there'll be a leaderboard and you can contribute through Discord, like just by doing Discord stuff, doing stuff on the website, and there'll be points system and all that. And then there'll be giveaways at the end of the month. And we're going to have a lot of fun ways to I'm going to make sure that it's very community driven is what I really want. Is at the end of the day, it will be a news based site. It will be games based site. It will be a playground for me to augment the community, the brand, and also the video stuff. But it will also be a way that I want to augment the community, and so I'm gonna have a lot of fun, and I'm hoping that you guys will have fun with it too. So that's kind of like what I'm working on right now, and hopefully we'll have that out in the near future as I'm still working on some of the systems. So there'll be a couple of pieces of content we can all work together on. It'll be really fun. One of the big things that I will be doing on that website is going to be tracking hardware. I am going to be tracking hardware really well on that. Meaning I will be having pages for all the devices and when they're going to be coming out, and in a very clean manner. And then on top of that, you can follow games and hardware, and you'll get news updates about those. So if there's a new item that's about it, you can get pinged it. I will probably have a pro version of the website for text messages and some other stuff that's more expensive, because like text messages are expensive to send to people. So for anything that costs me a lot of money, I will probably hide behind a pro, but most of the stuff should be free and either ad supported with very little ads or sponsors. I'm going to try. I really don't like invasive ads. I really hate them. So just enough to run the website is what I'm hoping for. Chris Lee, I like this chat. It's like a family. I hope everyone is doing good. We need to stick together. I agree with you, Chris Lee. I really like the community, and I want to honestly, and that's been one of my favorite things about doing all this. And it's one of the things that's been made me kind of sad over the past year is that some of the community's fallen away, like in the sense of like, it's just, and that's natural. People are going to come and go. That's natural thing of life. But I've really enjoyed it. And I've really enjoyed it up to this point a lot, and I'd really want to try to improve it. So we'll be doing shows, and you'll be able to get information off the website. And yeah. BT Maverick, I post your stream on Twitter, so all my sexy sexbot Twitter followers can pour in all my OnlyFriends. Oh my gosh, dude. Hey, BT Maverick, thank you, man. You're awesome. You guys all do help share and everything, but I love the. Should I look it up? Nah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'll look it up after this. I'm not gonna be on stream looking up OnlyFriends. I think that's actually a brilliant idea. I really think that's a brilliant idea. OnlyFriends.com would be. The only problem is it has a stigmatism with OnlyFans, but OnlyFriends is honestly, OnlyFriends sounds like putting people in their friend zone. So you go there and like, can we date? And it's like, oh no, I'm not into you like that. I just want to be friends. OnlyFriends.com. Do you want to know what it feels like to be put in the friend zone? OnlyFriends.com. It'd be a fun community building website though, but I just don't know if branding wise it'd work. It's in AU, it seems. Oh, interesting. So BT Maverick, I'm only half joking. Okay, no, you're good. I like it. I'm so bad at social media. Partially because it's really hard to control a narrative there, and I'm fine with it. It's just like with X, I feel like X/Twitter is just getting harder and harder to use every day. And I am actually very close. I'll probably keep my brands up there, and maybe I'll auto post all my stuff from my other accounts, but I'm honestly really close to just switching fully to Blue Sky. It makes me think of the good old days of Twitter. That's honestly what it is. Raichi, what about the Nvidia N1X? What about the Nvidia 1X? This is the APU, right, Raichi? This is what it was. Site says 1 million friends. Aw, man, guys. I don't need 1 million friends. I just need you guys. Okay, we'll do this real quick. I do want to do for Windows machines. Interesting. Excuse me. Nvidia is gunning for the Windows PC ecosystem, competing with Intel, AMD, and Qualcomm. They should be working with Valve, honestly. They should be working with Valve to try to. I wonder if this would be an AMD chip. Honestly, Nvidia's ARM architecture, their APUs are baller. So I am curious if they can keep it up. I'll have to go through this. This is interesting. I'm going to do a separate video on this. I'm going to really try to get a video out this week, guys, for this, for sure, because this is very interesting technology. And I'm going to add it, and we'll keep track of it in the website. So the website will be amazing for keeping track of all this hardware and stuff. And I have it. So websites have RSS feeds and stuff like that. And I'm going to have it. My website has bots and I have systems that can analyze when news comes out, and you can follow the news. So you don't need to use Google anymore to get your tech news. You'll be able to use my website soon to not have to deal with freaking knowing when new things come out and when they don't. So, Brink wants to look up BT Mav's Only Friends. I do not want to look up Only. I'm not going to do it. I don't. I know that you guys said that it's something else. I don't trust it. Lumkey, Valve will work with anyone if they're more open for Steam Deck for the future. Why nothing's set in stone? No, 100%. That's the thing. Valve will work with anyone for the most part that wants to extend their vision, I think. That being said, there's no reason why that Nvidia couldn't work with a hardware manufacturer and have this work with SteamOS when SteamOS hits beta. N1X and N1 to follow early 2020. I mean, if they're working closely with Windows machines, this could be an Xbox. That would be crazy. If Xbox switched from an AMD architecture over to Nvidia, would be a crazy thing for a handheld. But it's ARM based. This thing is probably going to be so power conscious and efficient over AMD and Intel stuff that if they can land that graphical prowess, like, this will be the de facto handheld chip if they do it right. So we'll see. I'll have to look into it some more though. And once again, that's if they do it right. They're going to ship it. They're like DLSS 5.0 mobile special edition with one compute unit, but DLSS pushes it up to 25. I could see them doing something like that. Steam and Nvidia would be an awesome combo. They already technically help each other out. Oh, of course. They all do. My problem is Nvidia is so massive. They're like nearly $2 or $3 trillion. Like, they're so massive that I just have a hard time thinking that they're going to work with other companies very well. But who knows? I don't know. They work with Nintendo and build the Nintendo chipset. So, BT Maverick, well, that's a dark hole. Yes, it is a dark hole. You'll be covered in baby oil. I don't want to be covered in baby oil. Lomke, only problem, AMD gives better deal than Nvidia. Why they lost the bid before? 100%. They lost the bid before, though. Doesn't mean that they are going to lose it in the future, or if it plays well. Like, I guarantee you, if a hardware maker knows that this chipset will do better than the AMD one, and even if this is a little bit more, they're going to sell more because they can brag that it does. Like, if they can, let's say it performs as well as a Z2 Extreme, which is coming out later this year, at half the battery consumption. It's not going to be that much of a, decrease in battery consumption. But let's say if it does that, that would be a big one for me. I'd be a big reason. Even if it's $100 more device, I'm buying that. Foombooter, welcome. What about a dark hole now? Our lives are a dark hole. Chris Lee, what do you think about the Acer Nitro Blaze 11? Oh, that's right. And the Legion Go 2. Can we do a poll on what one? Chris Lee, can we wait until next week to do a poll on that? And I'll have Wolf, if you could remind me, let's do a poll. Maybe we could do a poll on both YouTube and also on stream next week I'll look into the Acer Nitro Blaze right now a little bit, but I want to prepare for this one. I will give you a couple of ideas. We do talk about this a little bit in the last week's Off the Console episode. So my idea with this is it has an it has an 8.8 inch screen, right? And then it has a almost 11 inch screen. So this is the 11 inch, and then what is it? The up to AI tops. Does that even matter? That's interesting. It's such a hard device. It's so massive. And see the bezel size? This is my problem with this device. Let's enhance this a little bit. So my problem with this device is you see this bezel size right here? This is massive. This device is massive. If they cut that bezel down and did a bezel-less version, which I don't know what it'd take for them, but if they cut that down to where it was bezel-less, I would actually be down for this. The speakers are also not front-facing, just like the Legion Go. I believe it's probably top or bottom, which is another lose for this. Like, it's another L. But 11-inch screen would look amazing. I do have my iPad, though, that has an amazing screen on it, too, and I can hook up a controller, and I've played stuff off that, too. So I can stream it, too, and all that. It's Acer, though. It doesn't look bad. It's not like, I'm sure this is comfortable enough. It's very long, though. Very long controller. You see this right here? You see how that design is? They essentially made the Alienware UFO. That's essentially what this is. I plan on doing a video on this, and I'll also be collecting all the stuff on this and opinion pieces on the website. You'll see that soon. Yeah. And once again, it's going to be a community-based thing. I want like input from you guys, and we're going to have fun games and leaderboard stuff, and we're going to have I'm going to have hide the game code, and we'll do like whatever new games coming out that week or month is a giveaway. And remember, I don't know if you guys remember, but during my 10K celebration stream, we hid codes inside of thumbnails, and in fact, you can still find those codes. And in fact, I don't think the website's up still for redeeming those. I think a couple of those codes were not redeemed. I honestly think one or two of them weren't. Wolf could probably correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think Wolf, we need to do another one of those. It doesn't have to be just in thumbnails. We'll do it. We'll have some fun. Let's just say we're gonna have some fun. I want us to bring back like the community's fun and start just really just doing stuff again. That's what I want to do. I don't want to. I want to get serious about some stuff, but I was getting too serious 2 years ago because I wanted to grow. But at the end of the day, I still want to. I want to grow, but I want to have fun while doing this with you guys. Okay. Sorry. Food Butcher. Hey, Wolf. Hi, everyone. I'm probably late, but glad to catch it before it ends. Yeah, Brink. Dark holes indeed. But in 2025, I hope we can all see the light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. I'm hoping so too. I'm hoping so too. I don't know if there's any light at any tunnels. Lomkey, it says Game Pass on it. Microsoft deal. Yeah, I think so. ASUS has also, I think, a Game Pass deal with them. I wouldn't be surprised if a Lenovo does too. And I'm wondering if they get a discount on Windows 11 with this partnership. I'm kind of curious. If I was them, that's what I would do. Chad, how did you like that Atari handheld I put in Discord? I actually quite liked it. Did I not mention anything on it? I liked it quite a bit. I'm really tempted to get it, but we'll see. Wait, it's an Xbox, the next handheld? No, this is not an Xbox. Everything's everything's an Xbox. Don't you know? Anything you own's an Xbox right now. Quilter, small bezels isn't likely on handhelds because of rigidity and durability. Yes and no. I actually don't know if I agree with that. Like my MacBook right here has a very small bezels. It's nearly bezel-less. Now that being said, I don't hold it from the screen, but the screen's very thin. You introduce a thicker screen, or I mean a thicker device, you could probably still get away with it. My feeling is that the panels don't support this type of thing, and they'd have to redesign certain panels. That's why they haven't done it yet. So that's why I'm saying I don't think this is a viable option at this point to have this big of bezels and have this big a device. If you're going to be slapping an 11-inch screen onto this thing, a near 11-inch screen, you're gonna figure out that bezel-less technology. You're just gonna have to. But good point, Coulter. Coulter, you were unemployed 2 years ago. Talk about stress. Yes, I was. And honestly, I think that was one of the problems that I had. Like, I didn't realize I wasn't working out. I wasn't doing certain things. I was stressing. I was trying to get certain projects out. A lot of my time in my life was stressed. And right now, this year is all about growth and making backup plans. One of them being just talking with you guys. I enjoy it. PT Maverick, what's really weird that PlayStation is doing with Spider-Man 2 game is that it isn't available to purchase, but every other Sony game has months before the Steam launch. Wonder if they're trying to... your thing cut out. But yes. Yeah, it is interesting. We'll see how... It will be interesting to see how it's handled, PT Maverick, by PlayStation with Spider-Man 2, or with like all their I'm curious if they're going to be changing their path on exclusivities for PlayStation and PC. I'm a little worried about that. Wolf, yes, a few codes weren't redeemed. Yeah, and I do have them in the database, so I'll be reintroducing those. I have some cheap games in there. I also have more expensive games in there. But yeah, I'm also going to have bring back my merch store fully and like make it so that you can spend some points on merch too. Because honestly, like this design right here, this Skinwalker design is sick. And I still have it, and I drink out of this almost every day. Like I have different drink mixes and other stuff that I drink. Like I love it. I really do love that tumbler quite a bit, actually. Wolf, okay. Combat the key sites. Chris Lee, yeah, I know that what Handheld is going to get on my birthday, April 5th. Been saving up. Ooh, Chris Lee, what Handheld are you getting? Cool, sir, your MacBook doesn't have controllers on the side that will torque the screen. I agree with that. I understand that. The screen does still get torqued a little bit. Or it can. I mean, trust me, it can. I get that. But they can put stabilization, they can stabilize it still, I think, well enough. So I think we can get there. I think we can get the bezel-less, personally. We'll see, though. But I personally think we can. I think right now it's just more or less, it's just easier to do it this way. It's just, I don't think 11 inches is a viable product, personally. I'd like to try it. I'll email Acer and see if I can get something, but it'd be interesting. The Icarus, I plan on getting an ROG Ally X in April. Oh, okay. The Ally X is interesting. So here's a if you're getting it in April, Icarus, I'd honestly wait. I'd probably wait until May to see if there's April could end up with an announcement. But I'd wait because I bet you ROG Ally 2 will come out this year with the Z2 Extreme processor. I can almost guarantee it's going to come out this year. ASUS is a laptop company, like they're a laptop gaming / PC company, and they like to do yearly releases. So I can almost guarantee some type of Ally will be coming out this year with the Z2 chipset. So I would probably wait for that, if only to get a discounted rate on the Ally X. Rachie, why can't they give us a $200 cheaper TV box with those chips? What do you mean by give us a $200 cheaper TV box with those chips? It would be interesting. The Icarus, yeah, but it will be nearly $1,000. Will it though? What makes the Z2 processor more expensive than the Z1? Sometimes they'll up the price, sometimes they don't. Typically, how it all works is if there's inflation, some other stuff, maybe they'll up the price. But I would assume it'd be similar to what the Ally X is. Could be a little bit more, but I don't think it's gonna be 1,000. Lumkey, it's maybe too big to lay in bed lying down. It's what I do with my Steam Deck. Oh, trust me, I would do it with this. I would just end up with beefy arms at the end. My laziness finds a way. Trust me on that one, Lumkey. Icarus, I plan on buying an open box or Ally X. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense, actually. I agree. Chris Lee's also looking at getting the Ally X. I agree with that. I actually agree with that. And honestly, if you want to put SteamOS on it, I bet you there's going to be an option for that by then with Steam Beta, SteamOS Beta. At the same time, though, I know what Coulter's going to say. You should stick with Windows, and the experience is pretty good on Windows. It's just, I do like SteamOS quite a bit. And I'm a big proponent of it, and I'd like to continue to promote it. So same hardware, but put for TV and give us $200 discount compared to the mobile version. So you're saying you want to buy a TV with the chipset that's in this. That is a very interesting idea. So it's not a bad idea. It's an idea that they might actually do. It definitely will age that TV, but they might like that because then you'll buy TVs more often, which just adds a lot more e-waste. But that is an interesting idea. The problem with adding it into a TV, maybe a little bit later on, when you can guarantee better resolution and all that. But right now, I'm not sure if sticking this type of hardware into a TV is quite there yet. Give it a couple years, give it a better core count or something like that. There's a lot of ways we get there, and so I wouldn't be surprised if they started going TV route or just a top box. Honestly, they're just top boxes. I could see a top box happening that way. You think he means Lumkey? You think he means console? Yeah, I agree with that too. But there's built-in smart TVs that have stuff that I think they're starting to come out with stuff that's for Xbox. But yeah, I think I would rather not have my TV tied with technology like that. I'd prefer it to, even with the smart TV stuff, I don't actually use the smart TV stuff typically because it's too slow with the TVs I get. I get mid-range TVs or mid-range to low end. Between that, whatever I can get the best bang for the picture, I usually where I get it. So I usually still use a Roku, or I might use an Apple TV, or maybe a plugged-in Steam Deck one day. BT Maverick, Raichi, so put those APU chips in a TV. They could do it, but as we've talked through it, they should just be doing tall boxes. Kind of what Fremont is going to be is what they've talked about. Valve's Fremont project should be a console-like experience. And Coulter, thumbs up. Yeah, I kind of. BT Maverick, those chips are getting smaller and smaller and cooling. In a TV, it's such a big. The TVs are so big that you're gonna be able to. You could put so much fans into that. You could cool it easily. The problem is smaller and smaller is not really going to happen much more. Moore's law is dead. We are not going to be getting double performance whatever. This is died a while ago. We'll be getting very small incremental performances from here on out, unless there's a big major innovation, which we'll see. Foombuter, Ally X sounds like a safe bet. I'd get one if I were in the market for a new portable. Yeah, I could see that. I really like my Ally, and I think the Ally X would be really good. I'm also really tempted with the Legion Go 2, but I'm going to really try hard to try to get something with that. I don't know. We'll see. Chris Lee's, how much more do you think it will be to get the Ally 2? Not sure if that's what you're asking. Would it be nice if it was in a TV, SteamOS TV? Honestly, SteamOS they could already probably do something like that and do streaming if they wanted to. They could do like a Chromecast, or they could have it built in. In fact, depending on what the architecture is with the TVs, you could probably. That's interesting. They probably use a Unix-based system anyways. You could probably do. You could put Linux on a TV. It probably wouldn't run really anything though. Chris Lee, want to ask you something. Ask away. Chrono, what would that innovation would be? The innovation, which innovation? We talking about the Fremont innovation? Raichi, have a good night. I'm going to be signing off soon too, because I've been going to bed about 10:30 and I need to get ready for bed. But yeah, what do you guys think? BT Maverick, wish the LGs had the Steam Link app. That would be really cool. Maybe I should try to make this into a good video. But my future of what I want, like I said earlier, I want a Steam Deck 2 or Steam Deck like device to be my main gaming device that I plug into my TV. Like I have a switch right here, so I can switch between like a KVM. I can switch between my MacBook and my main computer. I would want to do that. I would want to dock it and have an eGPU right here that's freaking beefy as hell and be able to. And once again, I think I'm at this stage right now where I don't know if I need to play it at max. I think I'm fine playing it at high. As long as I can play a lot of the games at high and 2K, 4K, maybe 60 frames, I'm fine with that. But then I can go and play it on my bed or play it on the TV and just plug it in and not have to reinstall things. I'm kind of, at this point, I just want a device that's portable and I can do multiple things with. And so I think 2025 is either going to be my year for that or in 2026 is going to be the year that I try to really fulfill this want and desire. Because this year, there'll be enough devices that support eGPUs that I think I can get it done. I just need the cash, meaning I need to make more videos. But it'll be fun. It'll make for a fun video. Lumkey, Steam Link app I used on a Samsung. It was funny hot. It was running hot, not funny. It was running hot. Okay. But did it work okay? That's interesting. I forgot that they did have something like that. Lomkey, it was running Chrono. Do you think battery tech needs a big jump for all this handhelds to make a bigger jumps in tech? Not necessarily. It's all going to be incremental. So Chrono, I think how it's going to really work is that, and I'll switch over to the full. I think how this is going to, you're going to get incremental changes throughout the years. You'll see battery tech get a little bit better. And so you'll see new systems have, some systems will come out smaller, like 6-7 inch maybe. And then you'll see bigger systems come out that will also feel smaller. So, and that's with battery, all this technology is going to just continually improve. It's just not going to be like, I would not expect it being leaps and bounds. I think it'd be foolish of Valve to release the Steam Deck 2 when it's like, oh, once we have like 500% performance, that's when we'll release. I think that's going to be foolish because it's not going to come for a very long time. They want to hit that sweet spot of, they probably should try to shoot for double the performance, which is going to be coming up in the next year or two, if they play their cards right. So the battery tech's also getting a little bit better, but I don't know. I have a feeling once we're at the end of the handheld age, which is going to be probably like 6 years, maybe 5, like when we'll hit like a wall, it'll be interesting to see where it goes from there. But I think they'll be able to get incremental changes for the next few years. But I could see the Steam Deck 2 being the last Steam Deck for a very long while, because it will most likely be powerful enough to play most games. That's how I see it. Dickerous. Though I was thinking of getting a 5090 XG mobile, I keep Windows on the Ally X. That's not a bad idea. I am going to be playing with. I really, really want to try to get an eGPU from one of these companies. And I want to play with it with the SteamOS, with a USB 4, and with Bazai, and just see what I can get to work and see what drivers that are out already for this type of stuff. So, Wolf is correct. If you have not already done so, please hit that like button. It really does help the channel. And yes, make sure to subscribe too if you like what you see. Chris Lee, yes, the ROG Ally costs. To be fair, I could see them upping it by $100. So what's the Ally X right now? $800. I could see them upping it to $900, maybe. If it's similar to the Ally X, then if it's spec similar to Ally X, I could also just see it being just an upgrade, and they'll just discontinue Ally X. So we'll see. We'll see. It depends on. I have a feeling it just really depends on how competitive they want to be. Like they could choose to be more competitive and make it cost a little less or be the same as the Ally X. Time will only tell. I don't think it's gonna be more than $1,000 for the base one though. I'm even really skeptical if it'd be $1,000 for the base one when the Ally 2 comes out. I really do think they'll have an Ally 2. Lomkey, it worked okay. Just got worried the wireless dongle I had in it. It was really hot to touch. Yeah. Oof. And you smell melting plastic and everything. Damn. Coolster, I think improvement will come from power efficiency and frame generation software. Yeah, that's why I said incremental. Most facets of games and these devices will come from battery, APU, optimizations on game engines. I think Unreal 5, that version of the engine will get more and more optimized. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Unreal Engine 6 comes out in the next 5 years and they focus heavily on optimizations with that one, because I do think a lot of these companies, especially gaming companies, need to understand that they're losing money by not supporting handhelds well enough. They are losing money. Like some games I'd probably play more if it was a handheld. And funny enough, like a year and a half ago, I was playing PC more than handheld. Now I'm playing mostly handheld, partially because I'm kind of just frustrated with my Windows machine crashing a bunch, and just have to. It works. It just depends. Like I played Helldivers 2 last night for 3 hours and it worked fine. But to launch the game, it crashed the first time I launched it. And I just didn't have any issues afterwards. So it's like really weird stability issues. That could be just a me thing or a Windows thing. I don't know. Like hardware, like my system could be failing. But it's not crashing in a way that that's easy to debug. Chris Lee, the chip that has a 9 hounds of games you can buy on Amazon for $300, like 9,000 games that you can buy on Amazon for $300. Well, you plug it in, and it in the computer, you can plug it in your handheld. How does that work? It's from my understanding, it's illegal. So technically, those shouldn't be sold on Amazon. The Icarus is correct on this. You could buy one. I don't think you're going to get in trouble. I'm not going to promote it, of course, because those are emulators and those are games that it's not legal. But yeah, you can play it. Like if it's a box machine, you just plug it in your TV and just start playing it. And you can play like a bunch of different games that are just packed onto it. If it's a handheld device, you can play like a handheld device. I would not say like the experience is the best ever, but if you want a lot of games to play, like it's not a bad way to go. I'm just not going to promote it. Lomkey, with Steam Deck being on the top seller, a lot more people having handhelds are growing. Lomkey, PC gaming is going to overtake, I think, a lot of the consoles eventually. I think at the end of this decade of the 2020s, I think we're going to be seeing potentially that. There'll be so many handhelds in the market that I do think it's going to overtake PlayStation and some other devices eventually. And because the nature of the game is Steam is whatever you buy on Steam on your Steam Deck will play in the future on future Steam Decks, most likely, right? Future handhelds. You can play games from the past. You own your library forever. As long, until we get the next Gabe Newell on that owns the Gabe Newell Jr. or whatever owning Steam. Who knows how they'll change it, but it's just a good experience. And if they can translate that Steam Deck over to like I would really like to see them create a PlayStation 5 level powered console system. I'd love to see Valve do that. I think it would, and if they could get the price right, and especially because people will be buying it off their store, they can do what PlayStation is doing, sell the damn thing for $500, and they could destroy the console market, in my opinion. I really think so. I'd also make a very good video too. How Steam and Valve could destroy the market in the sense of like just own it. That's just my opinion though. We'll see. If they can start getting because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to stay on console, but then that will probably prevent PlayStation from doing Xbox or from PC exclusives. But that they're going to own the market if they could do that, because you could play on I think you're just going to get it's going to have conversions through time. You're not going to win every Xbox or PlayStation person, but it'd probably doom Xbox completely. But Xbox would still be making tons of money. I don't know if they'd even care that much. I mean, from a brand aspect, they might, but yeah. Loam Key, funny part, I'm surprised Epic Games didn't make their own Steam Deck. They still could. I don't really think they want to get into hardware game. I think that's it. I think they are totally content doing what they're doing. I really wish they would just cozy up a little bit more with Valve and Steam and work with them to try to get their launcher on Steam Deck. I don't know if Valve would ever do that because, they want to, they make a lot of money from having Steam on it, but I think that's going to be the future. I think if SteamOS comes out open sourced enough, which I am skeptical on that, to where people can fork it really well, I think you're going to see a combo fork come out that will be just as good as the Steam Deck or SteamOS, but have everything built into it from day one. I'd like to build something like that. I might do that. Bazite kind of does that, but it's only Steam right now. You'd have to build a whole new interface, and the problem partially is that a lot of these libraries don't have very good API systems. So let's say Steam, Epic Games, and some of these other companies had really good APIs like interfaces. I could actually fairly easily build that. My deck rebuild project does use those some makeshift APIs, but it's not easy. So, okay, guys. So this year is going to be fun. Please keep an eye out for updates, everything that I'm going to be coming out with. I'm going to be coming out with a beta program for my new website. They'll be shortly after a mobile app too, so you guys can interact with the streams and stuff like that and still earn points. So it'll be fun. We're going to have a fun year. This is going to be the year that Games Revealed is going to be very interesting. Let's just say between my game, which is not going to come out this year, I can guarantee it, and this Games Revealed, I think we're going to have the most interesting year that we've had yet. And that's saying a lot because the first year was amazing, right, guys? So let's make 2025 a fun year for Games Revealed. Chris Lee, I'm talking about old games. Wish I could show you what I'm talking about. Are you talking about on the on Amazon? Yeah, I know they're really old games, but they're not technically legal. Sometimes those devices get shut down on Amazon because they're not legal. Sometimes they get away with it. They're old games. I get that, but old games are still under copyright. So, Lonky, yes, this year be fun. It's the year of the Linux desktop. I agree with that, Lumkey. It is the year of the Linux and Linux desktop. It is going to be the year of Linux, personally. It's probably the year that I will be fully switching over once I figure out my game development stuff over to Linux. And partially just because, honestly, it would be fun to work with. Like, I'm going to be doing Mac. Well, I'm not going to be switching over fully to Linux. I'll be switching over to Unix, which Mac and I'll probably have a Linux box too. Maybe multiple. We'll see. I'm going to be playing with both. I'll have Windows stuff too. I'm not going to kill Windows off totally, but this is going to be a fun year and we'll have some fun times. And hopefully I can get back into streaming some games and chatting with you guys doing that. So it'll be fun. Good times ahead. Hopefully I'll catch the next live. Hey, Foon Butcher, I hope so too. I try to do it every Wednesday at 7 p.m. unless something really comes up, then I do it at 8 p.m. But yes, thank you guys for watching. We are done. I'll do some more updates later, but for now, like we've had a fun run. It's been a fun time, and we've talked about a lot of fun stuff. Now let's go our ways, chat in Discord, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Later. Bum 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 bum.